So Brawl Stars Hypercharge Unleashed is upon us, with Hypercharged Jessie, Colette, Maisie, Lou, Rosa and new brawler Charlie. Jumping straight in, we have Maisie. Now I'm not the biggest fan of Maisie. The slight delay in her basic attack makes her really frustrating, and I don't think it does enough damage to warrant that limitation. You need to be pinpoint accurate with Maisie, which raises an issue with her hypercharge. It's just too hard to charge. Although Maisie probably gets the biggest amount of charge per shot landed, it's the fact you cannot land enough shots that make it a problem. And when you do finally get it charged up, it doesn't offer much at all. Not near enough to justify such a difficult charge. You get the usual buffs plus a slightly bigger and higher damaging super. Not a great hypercharge in my personal opinion. During the Hypercharge Unleashed event, I have rarely had Maisie, so I have been limited in the opportunities I've had to play her. The times I did get her, I tried and tried to charge her hypercharge, and the one time I did, epic fail. I did go on to have more success with her hypercharge, but I would not recommend spending your hard-earned gems on Maisie's hypercharge just yet. Next up we have Colette. Colette is a very good brawler overall, but her hypercharge is almost the best I've seen so far. It is one of the quicker charging hypercharges, and it is devastating in heist, dealing around 25% damage to the safe if hitting it with her super while hypercharged. Colette will almost plough through opponents while hypercharged. What's better, because she has quick attack and a super that is difficult to escape, almost every time I used her super while hypercharged I had another one ready to go. No attention needed here, Supercell. There isn't really much more to say other than Colette's hypercharge being an easy recommendation. Definitely worth the gems. Then we have Lou. I'm a big fan of Lou, particularly in team brawls. Lou's hypercharge again doesn't take as long to charge as some, particularly with his fast attack and 3 hits per shot. If you get a run of hits you can build up back-to-back supers quickly and leave the map covered in ice balls. His hypercharge gives all the usual buffs, plus in addition his super will instantly freeze opponents who are caught within it. And it also seems to cover a larger area and stays around longer. Combine all this with a cryo syrup gadget and you can cripple opponents, bringing teams to a frequent standstill. Another well done hypercharge in my opinion. This makes Lou's hypercharge another easy recommendation for me. Gems well spent. Next up is Jessie. Jessie's hypercharge is both good and bad. Like other brawlers, it increases her speed, damage and shield. With her super, it makes her pet turret bigger with higher damage and shield, making it great to fend off opponents. The best thing about the hypercharged super is her pet remains hypercharged after cooldown, which has proved so useful. The bad thing is, it takes ages to charge. I counted 17 hits to charge her hypercharge. So while on one hand it is a solid hypercharge, you won't get to use it as often as you will with other brawlers. However, if you combine her hypercharged super with the recoil spring gadget for the extra quick shots, as each landed shot from her pet adds towards the super and hypercharge build up, it can speed up her next charge. The charge time isn't a huge problem and can be navigated by using Jessie's bounce off attacks. So for me, this is another recommended hypercharge. Rosa, easy, recommended. Next. What can I say, her hypercharge almost makes brawls unfair. Rosa is already a seriously good brawler. As a tank, when she is hypercharged and in her super, if you are not on her team, I can only suggest you stand back. She will simply walk through opponents, dishing out serious damage. Her hypercharged super slows opponents down, leaving little chance for escape. As she is able to withstand so much damage, and charge her super from damage taken as well as dished out, she can go into back-to-back supers and clear the map of all opponents very quickly. As a tank however, you do need to get up close to opponents in order to unleash her serious damage, but Rosa can soak up a lot of damage, and even more in her hypercharge and super state. Combined with the additional speed you get from her hypercharge, she can get onto opponents very quickly. The only times I was taken out as Rosa when hypercharged was when all 3 opponents attacked me at once, but that left my team unguarded, and you can guess what happened then. I will say though that I was able to counter Rosa pretty easily, but if you time it right, countering will not come often. Another great hypercharge and a must have. Last but not least, Charlie. Charlie has had mixed reviews I've noticed, both as a standalone brawler and her hypercharge. As a brawler, I think she's pretty decent. Very weak but has a lot to offer in team brawls. Her basic attack is similar to Carl's, but instead of going straight through opponents, Charlie's bounces back. Both types offer different advantages and disadvantages. For example, Carl has to wait longer before he can attack again, but his attack inflicts much more damage than Charlie's. Charlie's special is very good in my opinion, cocooning brawlers and disabling them for a period of time. Once the cocoon breaks, the brawler is freed with depleted health. I used it to take opponents out of the game to create opportunities of attack and defence, and when I took one player out, the opponent's team was seriously weakened. The cocoon can be broken quicker by players on the same team attacking it. Her spider gadget offers the same as Eve with her super, where 3 spiders head towards the nearest opponents, creating a distraction for their attack and inflicting minor damage. Her hypercharge, however, doesn't seem to offer much. When you use her super while hypercharged, it essentially spawns the same 3 spiders from her gadget. It doesn't strengthen the cocoon or leave the opponents with more damage depletion. So other than the buffs to speed, damage and shield, you're not getting a lot out of this hypercharge. I would recommend the brawler, but with her hypercharge, personally I would wait to see if it's boosted, as the gems would be better spent elsewhere. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on these hypercharges. Thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It'll be great to have you on board, so please do join me and subscribe below.
Super rare.